There's no way Toyota is going to get it wrong with the redesigned Tacoma. Forget about what happened with the Toyota Tundra. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. And that's right, there is no way Toyota is going to get it wrong with the redesigned Tacoma, the 4th generation Tacoma. And I think we can forget all about what's happened with the Tundra. I think it'll have no bearing on the new Toyota Tacoma. And I'll get to that in just a minute as to why. But real quick, if you're new, and maybe you just haven't, go ahead and click that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So, what am I talking about? Well, first of all, we're out here cruising around in the Tacoma, and I've kind of been comparing it in my head a little bit to the Santa Cruz. I bought a Santa Cruz recently. It's over on Robmotive MT if you want to check that out. And it's a pretty awesome little truck, a mini truck. So it got me to thinking about the new upcoming Toyota Tacoma. You know, there's a lot of competition out there now. We have the mini trucks, of course, the Maverick, the Santa Cruz, maybe a Dakota coming, who knows? And who knows what that'll be, mini truck, mid-size truck, I don't know. But every one of those takes a little bite out of Toyota, out of the Tacoma. So Toyota has to pay attention, and let's keep in mind that the Tacoma is a bread and butter truck for Toyota. It's the #1 mid-size truck, or the #1 best-selling mid-size truck. So it's important to Toyota. And I would say it's more important to Toyota than the Tundra is, simply because they sell so many and they hold that #1 spot. So when it comes to the Tacoma and its redesign, Toyota's not going to let that slip by. They're going to look at the Tacoma a little bit different. You see, I look at the Tundra as kind of almost an experimental type vehicle for Toyota. You know, they have it, they're in the full-size truck market, but they're not really a big player. They don't sell nearly as many as the big players do, and I'm talking about Ford, the #1, Chevy, Ram, they just don't. But they have their foot in the market, and if they ever get the recipe right, they didn't this time, then maybe the truck will have a more consequential spot in Toyota's lineup. But with the Toyota Tacoma, it's a little bit different. And you know, beyond just the sales number, there's a little bit of reputation, a little bit of bravado there, right? I mean, could you imagine sitting in the boardroom when the numbers come in and it's announced that Toyota is now #2 or #3 behind one of the other mid-size trucks, or maybe even a mini truck? Boy, that's gotta hurt for some of those higher ups over there. So why do I think that they're not gonna do it wrong? They're not gonna go wrong when it comes to the Tacoma. Well, again, I think they're paying attention to what's out there and what people want. You know, there's all kinds of chatter on the internet about what people expect with the next truck. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not gonna fully give us what I want, because, or what we want, what I want, because they are gonna go with the 4-cylinder turbo. There may even be just a naturally aspirated turbo, a lower trim. I certainly think that's possible, and I could see that coming. They ditch the V6, keep the 4-cylinder they have now, and then throw a turbo in for a little more money and some higher trim levels. Just makes sense to me from a marketing or a business standpoint. I think that's what they're probably going to do. But they have to give us power, and I think the 4-cylinder turbo is going to do that. You know, I've been down on the 4-cylinder turbos until I bought one in the Santa Cruz, and believe me, it is certainly capable of giving us what we want in the Toyota Tacoma. More power, better fuel economy, just the kind of things, two of the big things I think that a lot of people have been asking for in the Tacoma. It would be nice if they gave us a V6 turbo or even a twin turbo, but let's face it, that would be competing with the new Tundra, and I don't see that happening. As far as all of the interior stuff, You know, one of my big problems with the new Tundra is the way they set the screen up. It just looks out of place. It doesn't look right. I don't really care for the center console area in that new Tundra. Looks like two of those old van handles that you grab and pull up. Remember in the Honda minivan, the Odyssey? It was like that, as well as the CRV, I believe. It had those little armrests that kind of pulled up and down. Really cheap feeling and really cheap looking. And that's what the Tundra's center console area looks like. It's not how it works, but it's what it looks like to me. I don't think they're going to make that mistake. I think we're going to see a sleeker, more integrated center console area, the dash area. I think we're going to see a couple of options. There'll be a bigger screen available, of course. They have to do that. Everybody's doing that. I don't know how they could hope to stay competitive in the market and put out a truck that still has some dinky little screen in it. It has to be sleek and it has to be integrated. Much like, hopefully, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. That's one of the best setups that I've seen. The gauge cluster area. I think they need to go digital, something a little more flashy. Get rid of the old needle style gauges and put something in there that we can customize a little bit. Again, like the Santa Cruz, it's an awesome looking interior setup for that truck. And Toyota needs to be there, and they certainly can do it. With the rest of the interior, I don't think it's all that bad the way that it is. I wouldn't go crazy with it. I wouldn't make it overly flashy. I think taking care of the gauge cluster area and the center console stack, if you will, would take care of the whole problem. Would be nice to have a little bit bigger armrest, although I'm not really sure how they can do that given the dimensions of the truck. And speaking of the dimensions of the truck, they really do need to do something with the rear area. I mean, a couple inches more, that's all it really takes. And we have all that extra room up there in front of the engine. They could move everything forward a little bit. And we're gonna have a smaller engine anyway. A 4-cylinder versus the V6, it's gonna take up less room. So there certainly is an opportunity to move things in the truck forward just a couple of inches and give us that space in the back. Now, the exterior of the truck. I think Toyota hit a home run when they came out with that picture of the electric truck that's proposed down the road. If I were Toyota, that would be the next generation Tacoma. And then I would maybe make a few cosmetic changes or whatever for the hybrid and the electric version. If nothing more than just some badges or decals, because that truck is hot. The more I look at that truck, the more I like it. And I think it would be very competitive as far as looks go in the market. It would get Toyota to where it needs to be. And that's because the Toyota Tacoma, even though it's a bit long in the tooth, it's still relevant. It's still just as relevant from a looks standpoint as all the other mid-sized trucks out there. So I hope they don't mess that up. They don't need to. They've already got a fantastic design in that electric version that we've seen, that they can come out with the same thing and still stay just as relevant, if not a little bit ahead of everybody else. So anyway, no, I don't think Toyota is going to get it wrong with the new Tacoma. I think it's too important to the company. I think there's too much at stake for them to screw it up and to go crazy with it, kind of like they did a little bit with the Toyota Tundra. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You think there's any way Toyota's going to get it wrong with the new Tacoma? And if so, why? I'd be curious to know. Also, if you did in the beginning, make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels, Robmotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator, and Robmotive MT, all about mini trucks. Right now, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.